prefiro que seja assim para ter mais qualidade na
I understand English, I also follow Spanish fairly easily, but I'd rather be translated so that I'm more assured of the correct words being said and translated.
Espero na próxima conferência estar aqui falando em inglês, porque estou estudando.
I hope at the next conference that I be able already to speak English, because I'm studying and I'm having to pay for it, unfortunately.
Gostaria de começar saudando o companheiro Parra, da Colômbia. Nós, no nosso sindicato, nós representamos muitas fábricas metalúrgicas. As duas principais é a Embraer, fabricante de aviões, e a General Motors. Inclusive tem um companheiro trabalhador aqui da General Motors, o Adilson, que também veio comigo.
I would like to greet you all, and particularly greet Comrade Parra, who comes from GM in Colombia. And the main reason is because we, our trade union, represents workers in all of the metalworker industry and in many factories. Two of the main factories we represent, in fact, are represented here, where we have large affiliation numbers. The two main factories are Embraer, the first one, who manufactures aircraft and engines for the aircrafts, and General Motors. Precisely, our colleague Adilson is here with me in my delegation. He comes from General Motors. So our particular message of greetings to our colleague Parra.
E acho importante começar por esse tema justamente para ter uma importante diferenciação do que é a América Latina. Parra disse de uma situação de ataque aos trabalhadores da Colômbia num governo que, na minha opinião, é de ultradireita.
And maybe I use this occasion, the fact that we come from the same industry, to highlight how diverse politically the situation in Latin America is. Parra was giving the example of Colombia, with very fierce attacks on the labor movement, on the workers in his own factory, and he comes from a country which, of course, I think we'd all classify as having an ultra-right-wing government, Colombia.
Mas no Brasil, onde quem governa seria a esquerda, Lula e Dilma, os trabalhadores têm os mesmos problemas. Têm problemas de coluna, problemas com o trabalho, e os governos também, o governo de esquerda também não cuida dos seus trabalhadores.
Actually, in Brazil, where we've been having governments classified as being left-oriented, the governments of Lula and Dilma, despite the differences that exist in political terms, I have to say that unfortunately many of the aspects highlighted by Jorge Parra also occur in Brazil, also occur in our companies. Occupational health problems, as he was testifying, we also feel that strain, that pressure, and some attacks on the workers' rights also.
Atualmente no Brasil, por conta do dito crescimento econômico, por conta da Copa e da Olimpíada, tem havido muita construções, mudanças estruturais, né, construções no Brasil.
In Brazil, because of the so-called economic growth period we are living, and particularly because of the new developments which have to do with the Soccer World Cup very soon, and in 2016 the Olympic Games, there's been a lot of building, a lot of construction, and of course a lot of structural changes in the cities, in the roads, in all the areas that are being worked upon for those two main events.
Essas obras, primeiramente, há um questionamento nosso sobre essas obras. Primeiro porque estão expulsando pessoas das comunidades populares, como índios e pessoas pobres, e também há um certo ataque também ao meio ambiente no Brasil, algumas obras dessas.
We've been criticizing some of these developments, some of these construction works that have been taking place, especially because of two reasons. They have been noxious and brought problems like expelling popular layers of society and particular groups such as the Indian and black communities, the poor communities from where they lived until now because of this work for the two main events, and also the building of roads, and that's also provoking problems in terms of the environment, destruction of forests, etc.
Mas detalhe importante dessas obras são as greves que têm ocorrido no país ultimamente. Só no último ano, mais de 60 mil operários dessas obras estiveram em greve.
But one of the most important details, aspects of this work that's going on recently is the general movement of strikes that has been developing. Only last year there was approximately 60,000 building workers on strike. The actual builders that are doing this work, this particular work for the Olympic Games and for the World Cup, they were on strike last year.
Nesse momento, no Brasil, 7 mil operários da construção de uma usina de Belo Monte, na Amazônia, estão em greve por melhores condições de trabalho.
And actually in the Amazon there's at the moment currently going on a strike, a big strike, a 7,000 worker strike who've been striking for the improvement of their living and working conditions. They are building a factory in the Amazon and they have very poor working conditions.
Em cerca de 80% das obras dos estádios da Copa já houveram grandes greves.
And in approximately 80% of the building sites for the main stadiums that are going to serve the Olympic Games and the Soccer World Cup, 80% of them have already seen strikes occurring over the last years.
As greves na fabricação, na construção dos estádios no Brasil já superaram as quantidades de greves que ocorreram também na construção dos estádios da África do Sul.
In fact, there is a comparison to be made. These strikes that have been taking place in the building of the big stadiums have already shown to be more powerful and in a greater dimension than the actual strikes that occurred for the building of the World Cup the Soccer World Cup that took place in South Africa before, the last one.
Há 2 semanas atrás, o presidente da FIFA disse que não compensa mais fazer Copa do Mundo em país subdesenvolvido, porque sempre vai ter greve.
Actually, only very recently, the FIFA, the International Football Association's president, actually made a statement saying that it's not worth running the risk of having World Cups anymore in underdeveloped countries because there's a very high risk of a lot of strikes occurring.
Toda esta situação dentro de um país governado por um partido de esquerda tem trazido também tem trazido muitas contradições entre os trabalhadores e há um processo de reorganização no movimento sindical e popular.
Actually, this strike movement, this workers' protest, which has become very vast in Brazil over the last few months and years and couple of years, is bringing along with itself many contradictions in a country that is governed by a supposedly left-wing government. And as you will imagine, this is also helping to reshape and restructure the entire trade union movement scenario in Brazil.
A principal central sindical, que é a CUT, que foi muito importante para a história das lutas, que ajudou inclusive a derrubar a ditadura militar no Brasil, infelizmente hoje se incorporou ao governo. E dessa incorporação da CUT houve importantes cisões à esquerda, nascendo 2 novas centrais sindicais, a CTB e a CSP-Conlutas, a qual eu faço parte.
Actually, the history of the trade union movement in Brazil in recent years is dominated by the larger trade union center, which still is the largest. The CUT trade union was very instrumental and essential in the struggle to overthrow the dictatorship in Brazil. Unfortunately, as years went by and as the Lula and Dilma government came into office, this trade union center, the largest trade union center, became very aligned and involved with government politics, and it lost a great part of its original independence. Therefore, when I say restructuring of the entire trade union movement, this has direct consequences, and 2 major breakaway movements occurred inside CUT. And this led to the formation of 2 left-oriented national labor federations, the CTB of Brazil and my own organization, the CSP. We both break away, with a left-wing perspective, we broke away from CUT.
A CSP-Conlutas tem um desafio diferente no Brasil, por conta de algumas experiências que nós vemos na América Latina, como Equador, Paraguai, de tentar fazer uma central além dos sindicatos, que é uma central que tenha sindicatos e também movimentos sociais e estudantes, para tentar unir todos os explorados do Brasil.
Our trade union organization has a slightly different experience, and we try to emulate experiences that have already been taking place, especially in Ecuador and Paraguay and other Latin American countries, where labor federations do not just cater for the direct interests of their member unions and workers in general, but also try to form coalitions and work together with social movements, with youth and student organizations, so that we try to bring the popular layers together into the struggle against exploitation and against capitalism.
A nossa central reúne sindicalistas, membros de sindicatos operários, funcionários públicos, a indígenas, sem terra, sem teto, e também organizações do movimento estudantil.
Our trade union, therefore, unites trade unions, regular trade unions, and their members, as workers representatives in factories, both in the private and public sectors, but we also organize indigenous populations, ethnic minority groups, students groups, social movements, etc., all under the same, homeless people without a shelter, etc., when we try to bring them all together under what is a large umbrella organization in this social purpose of uniting everyone.
Está sendo um grande desafio fazer isso, porque não faz parte da cultura do sindical do país. Tem sido muito diferente fazer isso.
This has been a difficult challenge, a major challenge for us, because it's not part of the traditional trade union culture in our country. So this is a different approach and a different challenge for us all.
Mas para nós, essa é a única maneira de fato de resistir ao capitalismo. É unir os 99% dos explorados.
But to us that makes absolute sense. To us that is the only way of uniting all those that are exploited, to unite all the 99% against capitalism.
Todos os companheiros que me anteciparam falaram sobre as intenções das reformas laborais de tentar dividir os trabalhadores. E nós temos que lutar contra essa divisão, porque essa divisão é o que nos torna fracos.
All the colleagues that preceded me spoke of the many attempted labor reviews, labor reforms in each of their respective countries, all of them with a common approach, the attempt of governments and employers to divide the workers so that they may better exploit them. Well, we are totally against that, and what we stand for is for unity. Unity of purpose, unity of action of all the workers and of all the exploited people, so that we may overcome their interests and make our own interest, the majority interest, prevail.
O movimento operário brasileiro está aprendendo que só votar em governantes de esquerda não garante a sua sobrevivência.
And the Brazilian labor movement is learning that it's not good enough, it's not sufficient to vote for so-called left-wing representatives in the executives, in the governments. That is not enough to secure a future of unity, a future without exploitation for us all.
Eu apoiei o PT, eu apoiei Lula, apoiei a Dilma, mas os trabalhadores hoje não estão sendo protegidos por esses governos por conta da pressão que as grandes companhias fazem por esse governo.
I supported the Workers' Party, the PT. I voted for Lula. I voted for Dilma also. But we come to the conclusion nowadays that the workers are not satisfied, the workers are not pleased with the way things are going, in the direction things are going, because this government, and already the previous government, are allowing themselves to be put under pressure and in fact yielding to the pressure of big corporations, not only national but transnational corporations, the pressure they are applying on the executives.
Gostaria também de fazer um convite a todos que queiram conhecer ou estudar mais sobre esse processo de organização no Brasil, podem estar nos procurando. Nós estamos com um boletim, como tenho dificuldade para falar em inglês, nós temos um boletim em inglês justamente para poder ajudar nisso, e nós temos um e-mail embaixo para quem quiser saber mais.
I think you've all seen this flyer we tried to produce especially for this conference in English. We have some difficulties in getting contacts going sometime, but I invite you all, if you like, to send us your questions, your doubts, your comments, your help, your solidarity to the email that is in this newsletter, and we'll be most pleased to answer you all. Thank you very much.
E para finalizar, gostaria de dizer que a experiência brasileira que nós gostaríamos de trazer é que somente a união dos 99% e a luta direta será capaz de trazer melhores condições para as nossas vidas.
And in conclusion, to say that the experience that I bring, the experience that I would like in conclusion to share with you is that only the unity of our 99% will be capable of gathering us around a common cause, not only in each country but worldwide, so that we may win and prevail. Thank you. Thanks again. Another